This is hands down the biggest mistake I see guys make whenever they're starting a new workout plan. This mistake really has three separate parts, and today I want to break down each one of those parts to help you avoid injuries, losing progress, and ultimately getting frustrated with lack of results when it comes to your workout plan. What's up guys, Josiah Novak here with thetruetransformation.com. We help guys ultimately permanently transform how they look, feel, and perform with a sustainable and simple system that we call the 3M system. I've been coaching guys now for almost 20 years, both in person and online. And honestly, true transformation is all about doing things you never thought possible when it comes to your health and fitness, becoming a champion in all areas of life. We simply believe that fitness is the lowest hanging fruit to changing and improving every single part of your life. So I make videos like this one to help you avoid different mistakes and help you reach success faster, more efficiently, and honestly, more enjoyable than ever before. So today we're talking about the biggest mistake I see guys make when they're starting their workout plan. Starting a workout plan as a beginner, as an intermediate, or even an advanced person, if you've been out of the game for a while, comes with some rust. You just kind of forget the things that are important because it's like riding a bike. You kind of know what you need to do, but you probably forgot some of the little details that ultimately could lead to disaster if we don't pay attention to them. So I think these three things are ultimately going to maybe even surprise you when it comes to the mistakes that I've seen guys make coaching thousands of people and also just being in the gym every single day, looking around and seeing people train. I see this mistake happen more times than not. So let's break down the first part of this big mistake. All right guys, the first part of this mistake is really not warming up properly. I know it might sound boring, but a warm-up is gonna save you a lot of headache and potentially avoid injury that could derail all of your progress and set you back, in some cases, years when it comes to making gains in the gym. So warm-ups don't need to be super long. Let me just get that out of the way right now. You don't need to spend 30 minutes warming up. I know guys who do CrossFit or functional fitness, they're gonna tell you a warm-up sometimes takes 30 minutes. And maybe it does in their case, but for me, my warm-up is like 5 to 8 minutes max. The first part of a warm-up is actually warming up. You gotta get your body temperature up. You gotta get your heart rate up a little bit. So I like to pick a low intensity type of cardio. Usually for me, it's walking on a treadmill. Sometimes it might be the stationary bike. Sometimes it might be the elliptical, but just something that's low impact. You don't need to go out and sprint or run a mile or do anything weird to get warmed up. You just gotta get your body temperature up. And usually walking will do the trick. For me, if I'm in a hurry, I'll walk for 3 to 4 minutes or I'll ride the bike for 3 to 4 minutes. I'm trying to just get a slight sweat going or just, that feeling of your body temperature getting higher. That's really what we're after. This also gets us mentally prepared to actually train. This is big time important in the wintertime where you walk into the gym and you're freezing cold and the last thing you want to be doing is working out. You'd rather be in bed like cuddled up in a blanket next to a warm fire or something. You ultimately just need to get your body temperature up, okay? So the first part is low intensity cardio, anywhere from 3 to 8 minutes if you really need that extra little bit. And then we wanna jump into the next part of the actual warm up. So one thing you don't wanna do as part of your warm up is what's called static stretching. So static stretching would be where you stretch and you hold the stretch for a given period of time. The most classic one is a hamstring stretch, right? Feel the hamstring stretch, and then you hold. A static stretch actually temporarily weakens the muscle. So that could lead to some issues when you're trying to get stronger in the gym. What we wanna do is dynamic movement, right? We actually wanna go through some more mobility style movement before we train. Now, simple way to think about mobility is we're just going through ranges of motion without stopping. We're not holding a stretch, we're stretching, but we're moving as we stretch. Really simple example would be doing something like the hamstring stretch I just showed you, but actually moving through it, right? So we're stretching the muscle, then we're shortening the muscle. This helps get our body prepared to handle some resistance that will soon apply from dumbbells, machines, or even body weight, right? Now, the other thing to consider is what are you training that day? So if you're doing like upper body work, maybe you're training chest and shoulders, well, we want to focus on those areas. We don't need to necessarily warm up the whole entire body if we're only training one part of it. So if we're training chest, for example, I might just start warming up my upper body by doing some simple cross-body arm swings, right? I know it's silly and simple, but it works. Arm circles, right, to get my shoulders warmed up. And we can start to get into the workout as we're doing this, which is the next part of the warm-up. We actually want to start priming our body to do the movements that are a part of our routine that day. So we do some dynamic movement. If we're doing lower body, you might do some slow and controlled body weight squats just to stretch out the quads, get the glutes prepared. We're just priming the body to handle resistance, which then we're going to start to implement with a really calculated approach to starting to lift weights, which we'll talk about next. Okay, the next part of an effective warm-up is doing the movement, the first movement especially in your training routine, with no weight or a lighter weight, and then working our way up to our working weight, okay? So I'm just doing a hammer strength row. Here, I don't have a lot of weight on. In fact, I have no weight on, and I'm just getting my muscles used to the movement, right? I'm working on my form, not doing a ton of reps. I'm just starting to get my muscles prepared for the workload that we have coming up here very shortly. Now, this also does a couple other things. Number one, it might signal to us that we need to be careful. You might feel a little bit off. Maybe your shoulder's a little bit tight. Maybe you have some tendonitis. Maybe something's a little extra sore. Pay attention to your body's feedback when you're doing your warm-up sets. Sometimes if you're doing a really heavy compound lift like a barbell squat or a deadlift, you might need more warm-ups. I say do as much as you need to get fully prepared for your working sets, because at the end of the day, you don't need a lot of working sets. You don't need to do 8 working sets. I coach my guys to do 2 working sets sometimes, in some cases 1 working set. That's just all they need to make improvements to advance their strength. So take 2 or 3 or 4 warm-up sets to get there. Once again, you don't need to do 20 reps in a warm-up set. You might do 3 or 4 reps and just slowly add weight. So you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go into my actual working sets. Now, there's no exact number of warm-up sets to do because everybody's a little bit different. And by the way, you might wake up feeling a little different some days, a little bit off, a little bit under the weather, a little bit sore, like I mentioned. And you might need more warm-up sets. Just take as much as you need. Once you've done your first exercise, your next exercise, you might only need 1 warm-up set if you're training the same body part. Or if you're training accessory body parts, like you did 2 or 3 back exercises, now you're moving into biceps, you might not need any warm-up sets to get right into your bicep work for the day. This comes with experience and feel over time, but it's really important to make sure that your warm-up finishes with warm-up sets. So to recap, the first part of our 3-part mistake is not warming up properly. Make sure you get your body temperature up, make sure you do some dynamic movements, some dynamic stretching, and then do a couple warm-up sets so that your body is fully prepared for your working sets. Now let's go to the second part of the biggest mistake, is just simply not getting ready for your workout appropriately and not training smart, which is the biggest mistake. The second part of this is gonna surprise you, so let's jump into that. All right guys, if you found the first part helpful and beneficial, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you need anything else with warming up. If you have any questions about warming up, let me know in the comments right now. And by the way, check out the first comment because I have a free guide. It's my 3M Fat Loss Action Plan. It's gonna outline the next steps you need to take to start trimming belly fat, start losing weight the right and sustainable way. It's free, go check it out right now, and let's move to the second part of today's video. Okay, second part of this is being afraid to use machines. Everybody wants to do all the famous movements that you see bodybuilders use, CrossFit athletes do, things like barbell squats, deadlifts. They're all great exercises, by the way. But machines are there for a reason. And as I've gotten older and I've run into injuries just like anybody else, and I've had aches and pains, feeling, the years of training start to add up, machines have become one of my best friends. Because machines offer the opportunity to do the same movement patterns like a squat or a deadlift, or basically anything, row, push, pull, all the stuff in a safer and more controlled way. We're afraid to use machines because we think we have to be hardcore, right? We think, oh, I have to deadlift. Or in some cases, we avoid movement patterns completely because we think there's no option that we can work with to save our knees, to protect our lower back, the stuff that you're dealing with as you get older. But the good news is machines these days are so badass, dude. Like, for example, this machine squat. I just picked this one out because the squat is one of the most common exercises I see guys avoid because they're worried about getting hurt. A machine squat offers stability that you don't have when you just use a barbell and you want to still squat. I can get an amazing squat workout and slow and controlled, use a machine and not stress my shoulder mobility or lack thereof, my weak lower back, my sore knees, all the things that, you know, guys as we get older experience, I can do a machine squat and I can get the same benefit that I get from doing a barbell squat without the risk associated with the barbell squat. So we need to start considering machines more frequently. That's mistake number 2 as part of our 2-part series when it comes to the mistakes beginners make or guys make when they're starting a new workout routine. If you got areas that are concerning to you on your body, start using machines so that you can still train everything and build muscle. Because I'll tell you right now, machines build a ton of muscle. I've used machines at least 50% of the time as I've gotten older, and I've continued to build muscle well into my late 30s, and I'll continue to build muscle in my 40s and beyond because I'm getting stronger on machine movements. Besides the squat machine, the other machine that I see a lot of guys avoid is the Smith machine. The Smith machine is so great. You can use it for so many things. Incline barbell press, overhead shoulder press, shrugs, rows, even squats. You can do front squats on the Smith machine. Smith machine gets a bad rap because, I don't know, I guess people used it for a long time and said it was easy. Well, it's not easy if you add a lot of weight and you get stronger over time. So Smith machine is another one that I strongly recommend you use. Let's finish up today's video with the 3rd part of the biggest mistake I see guys make when starting a new workout plan. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to like it. Let me know in the comments if this one was helpful. And if you want to see more content around properly training and starting a workout plan the right way, be happy to make more videos for you guys. So the 3rd part of our big mistake is not mastering form. I see so many guys come in the gym and they pick up bad habits early on when they start a workout routine, and they never fix those habits. And what ultimately happens is they get hurt. I see it with shoulders, I see it with back exercises, I see it with deadlift, squat, you name it. All the exercises that are risky, they're really only risky because your form isn't great. So we need to start becoming masters and sticklers of form. I was lucky early on in my fitness career to get trained by some of the best coaches in the game when it came to personal training, so in-person training, where I had to correct form and I had to help people with movement patterns. I became a huge stickler of perfect form. So today, one of the things I suggest, if you can, and it's not always easy to do, but try to record yourself training. I know you see all the guys in the gym filming themselves working out with cameras like I'm doing right now. It can be annoying, right? But if you do it for the right reasons, either to create valuable content like I am, or to help correct your form and make sure it's like watching tape, right? If you're an athlete, you watch tape, you watch your performance back and you see the mistakes you made. Same thing with form. Or watch other people with their own form. You know, watch workout videos, watch guys who are meticulous when it comes to how they train. Now, not everybody's form is gonna look the exact same, right? The biggest thing is mind to muscle connection. So, for example, shoulder press, some guys like to have their arms out to the side, right? Where their elbows come down here, and that just feels natural to them. Some guys like to have their elbows in, right? A little bit more leverage and a little more safety sometimes with your shoulder. Both types of form are right, okay? But what it comes down to is what do you feel more and what do you feel more comfortable with? And also your structure. You know, sometimes people's arms are longer than others people. Sometimes people's torso is longer than someone else's or shorter than someone else's, and you have to account for that when it comes to exercise selection and also your form execution. So become a master of form. Study other videos. Study your own film. Feel that mind to muscle connection. If something feels off or if you don't feel the target muscle that you're trying to train actually working, your form probably needs some tweaking and some correction. So that leads to my final point. If you need help building out a well thought out routine, if you need help with form, if you need someone to get hands on with you to build everything out from your nutrition to your training, to your accountability systems and your mindset routine and all the things in your day that add up to being healthy and being fit. If you're looking to transform your body, transform how you look, feel, and perform in a way that doesn't require sacrificing family, work, or personal time, check out the links in the description below. The 3M system is where I suggest you start. We actually get together with all of our clients at least once a quarter to help them put together an in-person workshop where we help them correct form, get their workouts dialed in, answer all their questions. And you can do this virtually or in person at my gym where we map everything out for you. So if you're interested in that, check out the link below. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know if this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Remember, life moves fast. Make it count.